Hi, this is Carl with another SOP video for managed service providers. And today I want to talk about what's emergent and what's urgent in your business. You may have heard of something called the Eisenhower Matrix, which supposedly comes from a quote from President Eisenhower talking about how he deals with things and makes decisions. Basically, it creates a quadrant where things are either important or unimportant, and they're either urgent or not urgent. The theory is you want to draw a line and basically not be doing any of the stuff that's not important. And then of the things that are important, you look at what's urgent and what's not urgent, and really you want to be working in the non-urgent quadrant as much as possible. That's a very useful way at looking at decision making, but let me add a couple of other items. Another perspective is to look at things as being high, medium, or low priorities. So I like to say that I have these three options for prioritizing things: high, medium, and low. The reality is there's a fourth category, which is an emergency. Emergencies set themselves, so you can't plan for when an emergency will happen. Now, if it's a fire, a flood, a volcano, even a hard drive crash, you can plan what you will do in an emergency, but you can't plan on when it's going to happen. The lesson is, for that, don't plan your business based on the exception to the rule. 99.99% of all of your activity is not an emergency. So be prepared, but don't spend your life planning that there's going to be an emergency today. That leads people to have their phone on all the time. That leads people to say, oh, I have to be responsive to my clients at midnight because what happens if there's a hard drive? What happens if there's an emergency? That's the exception to the rule. Don't build your business based on the exception. Now there's another category that creeps in, and that is the urgent category. Very frequently, things show up as an emergency when really they're just urgent. And what does urgent mean? Urgent means something popped up in front of somebody's face and they said, oh my gosh, I have to deal with that right away. And then they throw it on your plate. So they want it to be urgent for you. But what happens? Most of the time, things that are urgent, that urgency lasts a very short time, a few minutes in most cases. So if you wait 15 minutes before you respond, what's going to happen? Chances are that urgent item isn't urgent anymore. Certainly if you wait half an hour, 45 minutes, the urgency is completely gone. Somebody has figured out what to do. So think about the way that hierarchy goes. There's absolute emergencies, true emergencies. Then there's urgent items which may not be important at all, but they are urgent. And they drag your attention away from what's really important. If you have processes to filter through urgency, then what you're going to find is, let's take 15 minutes and let's figure out what we want to do. What are our resources? What do we need to do? What's the actual problem? Let's define it, and then let's prioritize it, high, medium, or low. And that way we don't have to worry about something that we have to respond to immediately simply because somebody threw it on our plate. Define your system with intention and define your business in such a way that you are working from highest to lowest priority and almost never distracted by urgencies or emergencies. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Palachuk wishing you the best of luck in your managed service business.